don't even remember how. Let's get this one going, boys. Let's see how. See if we get this show to mosey on.
Can't decide if that's offensive or not. Let's go.
Howdy, y'all, and welcome to the pregame show. Oh, Eric's going to be in hell today. I can't wait. He's going to be so angry the whole time.
No, not angry.
Disappointed,
cringy?
embarrassed,
Cringy.
yeah. All those things. It's Western night.
No,
And your boys are going courtside, courtesy of Courtside Dave. Courtside Dave, super fan. Shout out to him treating the fellas to a nice little night out with the Nuggets. We're basically on the bench tonight. So everybody watching at home, keep your eye out for the guys in Western wear. That'll be us, the handsome-looking Devils, maybe the drunkest ones in all of Ball Arena. Today, guys, the Nuggets host the Orlando Magic. We're going to talk about that game. We're also going to do some hangover takes about last night's game, because who doesn't want to keep that memory alive? That game was incredible. Let's relive it all together. We're also going to talk about theme nights. Western night, that's a pretty good theme night. What other ones could we do? And, of course, we're going to make money tonight. To help me with that, I got a Western man. Where do you look like you're from? What would you say if you just saw this?
He looks like the yodeling kid.
I think he looks Iowa. I would say Iowa farmer. What do you think, Kale? You're from Iowa.
I lived in Iowa.
He definitely looks like he's employed by the Monforts.
I think it's just a flannel, guys. But I'll say this. You can't really, fully assimilate into a culture until you attempt to appropriate it. That's what I always say.
Yeah.
So it feels good.
Do you think of Colorado as like Western? It's not that Western.
I think of Colorado as Western. I don't think of Denver as Western.
Well, yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yes,
sure.
of course
But
that makes
west
sense.
of Denver, I do think of as there's actual cowboys.
A lot of agriculture here.
Yeah.
And a man too old to dress up as a child or as a cowboy.
Not as a judge or a
or Santa or an elf.
any other more demeaning thing that we make.
I mean, I've not gone to Ball Arena just dressed as a judge. I'll do it for a segment.
That's a good counter.
D-line.
Yes.
Last night, the Denver Nuggets played a game. It was on national television, and they sucked in the third quarter and for half of the fourth. But then something happened where they were like, you know what? Could we win this game if we tried for 5 minutes and 1 second? And the answer was yes, they could. It was incredible. It was an all-timer. It was a rare, I said on the show yesterday, it's a rare example of a game that we won't forget. We'll remember this one, not just for this season. We'll remember it forever. And what a treat, man. What was your takeaway as you were watching it?
I mean, just like you. I mean, we start off early. The Denver Nuggets are rolling. They're up 5 to 7 points pretty much the entire first half. It just kind of seemed like another chapter in the final chapter of the Golden State Warriors, like just getting to the end of that story. And then the Warriors showed up in the third quarter, like very vintage Warriors. They just couldn't miss any shots. And you're like, what is happening? Like, are you serious?
Yeah.
And then like the current Warriors showed back up in the fourth quarter, like the actual Warriors.
This is
reemerged.
somebody shows like their fourth quarter collapse of 10 points or more.
Dude, I'm saying, man.
They've lost not fourth quarter, but they've now lost 5 or 6 different times when they've led by as
Maybe
many
that
as
was the stat.
18
But the
points.
Warriors lost 3 of 4 quarters. It's just the third quarter they scored 44 points.
No, but to your point, this is kind of who they've been.
It's wild.
They're a team that
They're just so inconsistent. Sorry.
No, don't be sorry. You're making a great point.
We talked yesterday. We want to hear your takes.
Yeah, I mean, like it just felt like the death rattle of the mighty Warriors of the past. Like Klay Thompson was hitting shots. Steph Curry was Steph Curry. Brandon Pajimski was all of a sudden like hit. Everybody was just hitting shots.
That guy might be good though. Malone
He
loves
might
him.
be. He might. Well, of course, Malone loves
well,
him. I bet he can see a little of himself. big floor slapper. Like
he's skilled though. He has a little like Austin Reeves to him, where it's like.
I mean, okay, sure.
You don't think?
I mean,
he's a really good passer and shooter.
No, I mean, I'm the premise
Facu,
that he's like skilled, and then you went to Austin Reeves. It's like a little bit of a jump. Anyway, I just think that, I mean, I just think the Warriors are done. I say this over and over and over. Like their time has come to a close. But
real quick on that point, the difference between like champions and good teams. Champions can be that anytime they want.
Exactly.
And like the Nuggets were like, we need to do this now, and they could just summoned it. Whereas the Warriors were that for the quarter, to your point. And even in years past, I think even honestly in their championship year, they were able to channel it like pretty often. Not all the time, but pretty often. And through that run, they channeled it at the exact right moments. But now it really does feel like they can channel it at best 50% of the time it's needed. It's like a 50-50 button now, and it's like, oh, no, we don't have it.
It's the corpse of a dynasty, right? It's not, they didn't just disappear.
Exactly.
But the infrastructure's rotting, they can't.
It's almost sad.
It is. It's Ozymandias. It's like, look at my works, and you're left with this like weird thing where again, like in that third quarter, you're like, oh, well, there they are. That's the Warriors. But then it just immediately goes away. And
in a long line of Denver beats them, and all of a sudden they have an existential crisis. It actually is. So I thought Swipa Cam last night, friend of the show, he said Jokic is the boogeyman. And I kind of agree with it. The Nuggets have become, as a team, the boogeyman, where it's like they come into your building. There was a sense of inevitability. I mean, you saw the crowd. The crowd was so restless in the final minute. They all stand. When the Nuggets tied it, the whole crowd stands up and tries to will them. You can tell a crowd that's like, all right, here we go. Let's win this one anyway, versus one that's like, please don't do this to us. Come on. And that was a total crowd that was like, God damn it, we're about to lose this. And they were right.
And the wildest thing is that how rattled the Warriors got, how rattled Steph Curry got.
Yeah.
He throws a turnover. Like,
he's known to do this, though. Even at his height, he did
I guess so. But, to me, it's just like very emblematic of where they are. It's just, I don't know.
I mean, they did it. Remember in 2016, behind the back pass that cost them the game? I mean, it's kind of his MO.
The same way a team like OKC gives Denver their best effort in Ball Arena and says to themselves, okay, we're getting there. We're on to something. We're getting closer. I think other teams can give their best to the Denver Nuggets and go, yeah, this is over. Or we don't have it, or we're not that team yet. And I think they've done that to Dame iterations of the Blazers and now the Warriors and teams of the past.
Yeah. And that's what's so fun about it, man. It was just an incredible win. And I don't know, let's ask this. Sometimes it's just a win. But it kind of felt like a moment for the Nuggets.
Totally
they were so excited, and they've been playing. They've been winning games, despite they've played well in spots. They've played well in the exact spots they needed to. But there is something too. You win a game like that, and it just feels like, oh yeah, you kind of feel with your chest out a little bit more. And I feel like that was for the Nuggets. I think they all felt good about, hey, we can win a C- game. Hell yeah.
There has been like a little bit of joylessness with the way that they have been casually dominant over this past stretch. And yes, you're right. Like. It's just everything about the Nuggets starts, ends, and is Jokic. To see the joy on Jokic's face, you're like, oh my God, like that got everybody hyped. I mean, there was when you see that guy get like really, really excited about something, it's like,
then you're excited.
It's infectious.
I think it was Wind who said it. Was actually off air, but he said to me, he goes, just think about the way he played that Hornets game versus this game. And I know Jokic is always going to say he's reading the flow of the game, and he knows exactly when to press the gas pedal against teams like that. But if you look at the first quarter, and then to your point, that reaction in the fourth of that Warriors game, there are some where you can tell when Jokic decided he really wants it. And I thought that was one of them. And I do think there's a little bit... I don't think they fear the Warriors. I think they're eager to give the Warriors the same treatment that they've given the Lakers and the rest of them.
This is why I want them to kind of match up. Like, I just want them to check off as many boxes as they can. These are side quests. You go through the game after you beat it, and now it's like, do I go the exact same way? Like, no, let's go through the other door this time just to see if we beat the game a different way. And it almost feels like that.
Are the Warriors going to make even the play-in?
I mean, maybe not.
I think when Draymond comes back, they'll get something going.
I don't know, man. Bad for them, though.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know. Their vibes are bad. Their play is bad. Their roster's bad. Their coaching's bad. Like
the coaching part, I think all of those other things are whatever. Because the play-in is such a low bar that you can just like, all right, we played well for 2 weeks and now we're above, all these other teams. But the coach part of this is you have to rally together. And when you're out on your coach and your coach is out on you, this is a two-way street, by the way. Steve Kerr does not have faith in Jonathan Kuminga. Right. You complain about Michael Porter. Jonathan Kuminga was playing great and got the boot. And for what? Like, what were they going to? So to me, I still think they make the play-in. That's the lowest. Only because, again, it's the lowest bar. It's the lowest bar to clear, and I think they'll clear that one. But making the playoffs, probably not. I don't know. We'll see. That was last night. Let's move ahead now to tonight, which is the Nuggets hosting the Orlando Magic. The Magic at the end of a West Coast road trip. Always tough to do, especially when you end in Denver. But Michael Malone, he's so good. I don't know if you watched his presser last night. He is so good at bringing the excuse before it happens, but then saying it's not an excuse. Oh, and he's like, last night, he goes, and now our challenge, I don't know if you see the schedule. I don't know why they do, but we have to go from west to east to go home and play a back-to-back. The hardest thing to do in the NBA. And that'll be a great challenge for us. And he's saying it as in, like, that's our challenge, but we got to go out and do it. No excuses. But he's also saying, like, well, it's the hardest thing to do.
But if they lose tonight, he's going to be like, I don't want to hear anyone making that excuse. And be like, you did it.
You said it, right?
Before the game.
Oh, real quick on this point. You know what? Last night, for me, cancels out the OKC game. Not fully. But OKC, they lost a game they weren't supposed to. Last night, they won a game they weren't supposed to. It was almost the exact same. I was thinking about this last night. When Shea hit that shot, I was in the building, and I was like, this sucks, man. Yeah. You watched it disappear. This one, that's what they felt last night. There was just like disbelief of like, no way. Yeah, so it cancels out.
It's true. Although we delivered a much bigger haymaker to the Warriors, like the improbability, the size of the deficit, the improbability of the shot. Like
it was basically 2.5 Oklahoma City Thunders.
It really was, absolutely.
Yeah, Denver's sneaky. Is it 6 on the road now?
6 in a row. Like Michael Malone pointed that out as well.
I mean, that's for later.
Well, and also because it came right after he directly challenged the team.
That's exactly.
So it's another good sign for the Nuggets that it can be like, hey, here's an area we're weak. We need to get better. Boom, they focus on it, and they address it.
With some highly condensed and high-volume road games in there, too, to start the season. So they've been better on the road objectively than last year, which is a good indicator. Let's talk about Orlando for a second. They're 3-7 in their last 10. They sit at sixth place in the East. They're reeling a little bit, fellas. They've lost 3 in a row, and they're 7-11 away from home this season. They've also got a hefty early injury report. This is pre-recorded if you haven't figured it out. So the injury.
What?
Sorry, guys.
What?
I'm sorry. I know. I not
Are
to
we
give
here?
up the. But yeah, this injury report it's going to be outdated by the time you hear it. But for now, Wendell Carter Jr. is questionable with right knee tendinitis.
Huge swing player right there, man.
And then it gets ugly. Markelle Fultz is out. Gary Harris is out. Gavon Harris is out. Jet Howard is out. Joe Ingles is out. Jonathan Isaac is out. Franz Wagner is out.
Yeesh.
Right ankle sprain.
He hurt himself in the opening quarter last game at Utah. Heartbreaker for them Sacramento. 138-125 in double overtime. Heartbreaker, man.
Heartbreaker. So you could argue there's letdown potential for Denver here just by nature of what the game they just played. But I think Orlando's in a somewhat deflated place as well. So I do think a first quarter haymaker could go a long way. Let's get to Denver's injury report real quick. Vlatko Čančar is out. Reggie Jackson is probable with that left calf tightness. Jalen Pickett is out. He's with the G League. So is Hunter Tyson. And then Julian Strawther is questionable with a right knee contusion.
All right. Not too bad. I mean, honestly, mostly the main Nuggets. So
it's just Julian Strawther's popped up on the injury report. That's all.
If you look at this, they were 19-12, a phenomenal record. They go on a West Coast road trip, and listen to this road trip: at Phoenix, at Golden State, at Sacramento, at Denver. That's tough. That's like we're going to test your mettle and see what you are. 5-point loss to Phoenix, 7-point loss to Golden State, double overtime loss to Sacramento. That's just brutal, man. Like I almost feel for them.
Yeah.
Denver's gone on road trips and lost, most of the games or whatever, but you go 0-4 in this road trip. I don't know if you're going to get a desperate Orlando team or just we're dead.
Right.
Like we tried to ford the river and the oxen died version.
If I can base the trajectory of the Orlando Magic on past performances of the Denver Nuggets, we're going to get a very flat performance from them. That's
them?
That's what the Denver Nuggets would do. In years past,
I see. Yeah.
In years past, in their position, they would just absolutely go flat, and then they would just turtle, and then they would just wait till they get back home, and then you as a fan would just have to hold your breath and wait. So I don't know what to expect from this game at all.
Who do you think is going to be more sloppy though? Like Denver's on a second night of a back-to-back.
That's what I mean.
And they just went on a 26-4 run. Was it something like that? And they're champions and they have that, but I don't blame anyone for sort of taking their eye off the ball following that, playing a banged-up Orlando team. So I'm not quite sure. I did want one more thing to reiterate in the game notes, just because we kicked it around on last night's show. What was up with Porter? Did he maybe ask to come out of that game? He's not on the injury report. So just something to reiterate as we approach this game. Yeah,
the thing, this is like the movable object versus the stoppable force tonight. Like the Denver Nuggets, we saw what they looked like last back-to-back. They were atrocious. They got absolutely rolled by the Thunder. Jamal Murray didn't have it in his legs. Like none of the players looked like they were ready to play. But then also Orlando. I don't know what to expect from this game at all. Like I'm very curious. Like I'm pretty nervous, honestly, for what we're going to get out of the Nuggets, just based on the last back-to-back that they played. But You know, like, and then also the factor of like the massive emotional letdown. Normally, when you have like a big swell of emotion the night before, it's like very hard to conjure it the next night. So
I honestly think a first quarter Porter quarter is the blueprint tonight.
I would love
'cause
that.
I would
Let's
think
go.
Jokic just emptied the tank to get that win. You're at home. You're playing a team that probably is looking for an excuse to fold. I thought Jamal looked a little tired last night.
Yeah.
So maybe it's a night to see if Porter can give you 10 of those quick points and set you off on the right foot.
I would love that. I'd also like a Christian Brown night.
Yeah, man.
You know, home game. I'd love to see him kind of get a rhythm. I mean, Peyton Watson has been so encouraging that you almost are like now, like, all right, let's get these other guys a little bit more encouraged. Let's get Reggie night. We haven't had one of those in a while.
Right.
And tonight, when you are in a back-to-back, those guys didn't make a huge imprint on it. Maybe tonight is a chance for them to make a big imprint on it, and that would be fun to see. Guys, it's also Western night, if you can't tell, based on our apparel.
Adam's
Although, as D-Line
trucker
says,
hat.
we look less. He thinks we look less Western and more just blue collar.
yeah. This is like you're not really in a costume. You're just sort of like going to work.
Well, it's Western blue collar though, no?
No, I mean, listen, I get I get the loose theme that you guys
Yeah,
are part of, but I
it's a
mean, like
flannel.
typically, like if you're dressing to go to like a if you showed up like at a costume party, they would just they would
would
tell you
"Oh,
that
are you
they're
a
like
trucker, or
no,
are
they'd
you
be
a
like
plumber?"
they'd be like, this is a costume party.
Right. Where's your costume?
Where's your costume?
Yeah, that's a
You're
good
like,
point,
I
yeah.
feel like I could belong right in Yellowstone. Do you guys like Yellowstone, by the way?
I haven't seen it yet.
You haven't watched it?
No.
I was off put. Like there was a little like too much violence against animals, and I was like in a sort of a delicate place when I first
Is this
started watching
true?
it. Yeah, so I didn't get
Wasn't expecting that.
So I didn't give it. I just like didn't. I'm
The
not.
ultimate.
Yeah.
I didn't quite give it the due that it deserves. So
Yeah.
I'll jump back in. But I've also heard like people are disappointed where the series has gone. So I feel like
to me, it's like Sons of Anarchy. You know what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
soap opera,
Yeah.
almost, but it's just on a ranch.
Once you get
There's
past
like-
season 3, you're like, they haven't written
There's
any of
Like
this.
7 people die per episode.
Yeah.
And you're
I
kind
know.
of like, all right, what is
Yeah.
this?
I wish Dev was here to hear me say that about the animals. He would have been disgusted, I'm sure.
But what other theme nights, fellas, would you like to see at Ball Arena? You know,
Well,
like they have 80s night. We have Star Wars night now, which kind of I don't know why that bothers me. I don't know why it
Star
does what
Wars
it
night?
does. Yeah, I don't know why.
It's because you love Star Wars so much. You're
No.
such a purist.
You're offended at the hacky nature.
I'm just kidding. You know like 3 Star Wars references.
Yeah.
Thank you. I actually know
One
a
of
lot of
them's the
Star Wars
tiny-
references. I know a lot, but I don't like them. I just hate them. I'll start us off here, as I've written down a couple of them. When I went to visit my best friend in LA, shouts to Patrick, gets married, he got me a pair of Mr. DNA glasses. Do you know Mr. DNA?
What?
Mr. DNA.
No.
That's Jurassic Park when he has put on Mr. DNA, but it's such a deep cut. I think they should have Jurassic Park night. Why can we have Star Wars night and not Jurassic Park
The
night?
longer-
Come as a dinosaur. You can come as, Dr. Grant,
The more time I spend with you,
Ian Malcolm. You could
the
be Ian
more
Malcolm.
I realize how much Jurassic Park is part of
It's
your
a
life.
huge part of
Jurassic Park and wolves are and
The
birds
funny
are.
part is I haven't even seen the other Jurassic Parks. It's
Well,
like,
well,
that's
can I
the
tell
thing.
you? Yes,
That's
you
probably
have.
why you
terrible.
like it so much. That's
If
probably
you-
why it has such a special
Yeah,
place.
no, you've seen one. You have seen the other Jurassic Parks.
Yeah.
You know what? The first one is perfect, though. That's why. It's
It
perfect.
is a great film.
Yeah.
I remember when you went as him for Halloween and
Nobody
no
knew
one
who
could
it
figure
was.
it out. You were
Yeah.
so sad.
But it's so wild how you just derided the idea of Star Wars night, yet you're so in on Jurassic Park. You just pick your own science fiction.
100% true.
Are you
Accurate.
anti-franchise
Jurassic
or
Park
pro-franchise?
would be fun. The chat right now is in agreement. I mean, you can see
Yep,
the
they
chat
are.
right now. They are totally
I actually
agreeing
agree with
me.
you, by the way. I would love a Jurassic.
Because you have Ian Malcolm,
Yeah.
you have Dr. Grant, right? Like you
So
could-
you
a
envision
dinosaur.
There's
I was going to say,
Dinosaurs.
do you envision it's like a crowd full of scientists or people in dinosaur costumes?
Both. That's the
Good
thing
mix.
about a good theme. Am I
Yeah.
wrong here, Kale? About a good theme is that there are like genres within the theme subgenres.
I would be there for a Jurassic Park.
Thank you
I
very
don't
much.
say this
Jurassic Park
often.
night. Nuggets
Adam's spitting right now.
in Arena Crew. Get it together.
Like the Velociraptor, yeah.
no, well,
Or whatever, that thing with the...
I'm very disappointed in myself personally, fellas, because it's Western night. I'm wearing a flannel, a trucker hat, and I just shaved my mustache like an idiot. Which leads me to this theme night. Mustache night. Not a
Mustache
real one,
night.
bring a fake one, but you have to wear one.
I like it. You have to. I like this idea. I'm sorry, sir. You
Yeah,
gotta
can't come in.
you gotta
we
go out.
mustache you to show
Nice.
your ticket.
Mustache night would be phenomenal, man.
You know what I just thought of? At Ball Arena?
Huh?
Ballerina night, dude. Everyone wearing a tutu? Swan Lake.
Vegas night. Vegas night in a bunch of cities that aren't Vegas.
Oh yeah,
You know what I
so
mean?
what? Just like
What
bad
does that look
decisions.
like?
Yeah, you show up hammered. Cigars are allowed indoors for the night.
You just smoke indoors.
Three buttons down,
Really
sunglasses on.
It's just really just bad behavior.
Yeah, debauchery night.
What else we got here? What about Casa Bonita night? Can we do Casa Bonita night, Kel? Is that a thing?
What does that mean? Like you just have people in
You could do the
speedos,
gorilla suit. You could do
cliff divers.
Cliff divers.
That one's on
Patrons?
Ballerina.
Yeah,
You gotta
that
like
one is.
set
Maybe
up
this
some
one's not
waterfalls
that,
and
that
divers.
thought out.
Yeah.
Black
Equestrian night. For
Yes.
milk.
Yeah.
Equestrian night.
Do we actually allow horses in?
Of course.
You could have a little horse show or something
Obviously.
during halftime.
Well,
Like a
who
mini
shoots,
pony
show?
you know who shoots the free throw? Tim Tetrick.
He'll miss for sure.
For
man.
sure. He's like,
Yeah,
do I
man,
shoot
he's
a
so
granny
tiny,
style? Hey,
They gotta bring Tim Tetrick to a game.
Would we know if he's probably been to one? We
He
just
probably has. They haven't announced. He's like, don't
we just don't
let
know.
anyone know I'm
we're
here.
sitting next to him tonight. We have no idea.
Yeah.
What about this one, guys? You know how they have 80s night? It's been enough time. 90s night.
Yeah, we're old
Oh,
enough now.
90s night, though, that's taken hold a long time. We're actually to the point where we could do 2000s.
That's rough.
What is 2000s though? I don't feel like that
Backstreet
has
Boys.
Huh? Yeah,
kinda
but what
like
is the
a-
look of it? You know what I mean? I feel like there's.
Oh, it's like the Black Eyed Peas. You got like,
yeah, but they
It's like
they
the-
didn't dress like the
It's
common
like
man.
the weird Y2K
nobody- listen.
interpretation of the future. Sunglasses
I'm
and
telling
leather.
you, yes. No one dressed like they. Like if you go to an 80s party, no one
Nobody
actually
had that,
dressed
yeah.
like that in the 80s.
hot pink and hot orange.
Yeah, people looked like me in the 80s. Like, is what they looked like.
No, they looked like the Breakfast Club. That's what
Yeah,
people
dude.
looked like in the 80s.
They looked like Brendan, honestly. Like,
You know what
kinda
this is?
does
You know
look
why I got
like me.
excited for this? I saw the Iron Claw recently. A lot of takeaways to be had from that film.
Yeah.
Somehow my top ones were that I should tuck my shirt in more and get jacked.
I love it.
I'm pretty sure it's about, family and relationships are more important than winning.
Yeah.
But push-ups and also Tom Sawyer, good workout song.
And then
by Rush.
Yeah. Wouldn't have thought that.
I think theme nights are
Educational
fun.
film.
We should have more of them. I feel like everybody does the same ones and they're kind of hollow now. It's like, it's time to make new theme nights. And so those are some good ones. I think Jurassic Park night that's got to happen.
I'm still in
man.
on Ballerina Night.
You know what?
I'm kind of in on that.
Jurassic Park 1994.
Oh my God.
Are we
Jurassic-
30 years away from? Are we the 30th anniversary? It might be 95.
guy
Maybe
loves
it's
that
next
movie.
year. So Jurassic Park night. Yeah, let's
Jurassic
make it happen. Everybody at Nuggets, tell them we need Jurassic Park night.
Oh, wait. DNVR night. There's enough Eric shirts in the world to make it
Oh,
happen.
DNVR night.
Yeah.
93, we're already at the 30 years.
Oh, we missed it. Oh, I feel so
Wow.
terrible.
How could they let that one pass?
31 year anniversary just doesn't
That's
have
like
the
gross
same ring.
gut negligence is what that is.
Oh, it feels terrible. Take us to bets, Eric. I feel too bad.
All right, so listen, I am with you. I feel like tonight is going to be difficult to necessarily count on the usual suspects just because they are coming off of that major emotional high.
But what
and
about
they
them
are-
seeing us? Will that inspire them,
Right.
you know?
In what way?
To play better and harder and with more glory?
Absolutely
No,
not.
okay.
Will it inspire them to avert their eyes
The
and not?
fellas are here.
Yeah.
Let's show them what we're made of, you guys. Everybody in.
Hey, Jamal. Hey, Jamal.
So, Vegas actually likes the Nuggets' chances quite a bit. They are favored by 9.5 points. They are
I like
favored by
their chances.
9.5 points on the second night of a back-to-back where they traveled west to east.
As we mentioned, though, the Magic only have one player
They've got
healthy,
one
so it's
player,
going to be
yeah.
very tough.
But he's a good player, Paolo.
He is a good
He's
player.
a good player. That's wild, though. Geez.
Second best player on their team.
The points in general, I feel like I don't know. I feel like that's a major stay away.
9.5. Yeah, no way you touch that.
I hate betting
Right?
spreads. I know it's like the original bet.
I hate it.
kinda,
Yeah, I
but-
don't really like it either because it doesn't necessarily feel like it says one way or the other. Like it's just there's too many variants that can happen at the end of a game. I mean, if you want to take the money line, the Nuggets are minus 450, so there's absolutely no juice there.
Stay away.
Stay away. So, I mean, when I'm looking at this, I'm looking at the young players, the players that weren't maybe used as heavily last night. Like,
All right.
I'm looking at a player like Peyton Watson.
He was used a lot last night, to be
But
honest.
he's
slightly more than, say, Michael Porter, but yeah.
Well, slightly, but I mean, you're talking about a guy that will have fresh legs. We don't have
Yeah.
to worry about him coming out. Like I want no part of Jamal Murray tonight. Like I'm not going to bet his points.
Are you worried about his legs?
I'm very worried about his legs.
Okay, yeah.
I don't believe in betting unders on players that I love, but I would if I were a harsh bettor and just a gross capitalist, I would take his under. But I wouldn't. I wouldn't. So let's start off with player threes. Peyton Watson is on a bit of a tear.
Man, he is making his threes lately. Do they not have him though?
And he's always open.
Yeah, he's.
They're not listed
We're too early in the day to actually get odds for that.
What's the juice on KCP? Like multiple three, like 2, 3.
So,
he's kind of due, I think.
KCP, you can get over 1.5 threes for minus 105. Not a terrible play. Yeah. Aaron Gordon, who is like, if anything from last night is to be believed, potentially has rediscovered his stroke from deep. Possibly.
Okay.
He shot it pretty well last night. You only need 1 3 from him tonight, and you'll get that at minus 120.
Man, he does like to go hard against the Magic.
He does. That's actually a great bet, I think.
That is actually a great bet,
I like
man.
that bet.
Man, I don't know if this means anything, but he got the DPOG chain last night,
did.
and when he got it, everybody in the locker room went,
Yeah. They always do that, but now now they do it.
They keep
with
doing it to him. I love it.
Level of self-awareness.
That's the best part about that is that we don't know if we're allowed to make jokes about it, but they
they immediately.
let's go, we're all in.
We're all in. But I should have done the math of what we would do if Vogt got attacked by.
We would totally.
You guys would not have waited 2 days.
No, we would have called you at
you
the
would have been
trail.
immediately. FaceTime into the show, you idiot. Was it a poodle?
You're right, man. This is a revenge game for Aaron Gordon, as it is every time that they match up.
14.5 points.
I feel like maybe his points, rebounds, and rebounds are the place to go.
All right, I
Eric,
like
you're
that.
spitting today, dude.
Let's go. Let's look at his. Okay, so player points and rebounds. Aaron
20.5.
20.5. That's nothing.
That's not. He might just get that in rebounds.
Minus 115 on that one. I love that. Let's go for that. That's got to be the lock of the night, right? Like,
okay.
Aaron Gordon points and rebounds, 20.5. And then I feel like let's go right back to the. We can't yet. There's no PWAT odds, dude. It's going to be a PWAT betting kind of night.
Okay.
Don't you think?
Okay. Christian Brown, I think Reggie Jackson maybe, but they don't have his numbers on there.
Reggie Jackson, I don't feel good about his he is subject to the elements of the world more so than he's like an older guy.
Also, calf tightness is tough.
It's totally tough.
It's tough.
So I'm saying, so yes, Christian Brown, Peyton Watson. I would have said Julian Strawther. We don't even know if he's going to play tonight.
Are you feeling any Mike juice tonight or no?
He didn't get a lot of shots last night. Maybe he's feeling a little pent up.
Maybe they give him the rock tonight.
He's always shooting well at home. Let's go player threes. Let's go over 2.5 threes for Michael Porter Jr.
I'm going to do that a little different if you don't mind.
Minus 120 by all means, please.
I'm going 4.
Wow.
4 plus 210, baby. Doubling my money over here. Let's get reckless. We're
go.
at home, baby.
I love it. All right, fine. Those are the bets.
Last one I did, Yoke triple-double plus 165. Yoke, guys.
I know.
He's back, man. I'm not that he's never gone, but like.
He's like been back, too.
He's been back. He was never gone, but he's just you guys were worried. I do whatever I want out here. Tonight, you know what? They might need him tonight, so he'll be incredible.
But the problem with that statement is whatever I want. What do you want?
Well, he just wants to win, and tonight they might actually need him to be a triple-double machine to win. They might actually need that.
Yeah, or he could be like, you guys are welcome for last night.
Yes.
Y'all got it.
All right, guys, that's the pregame show. Look for us courtside. We're going to be courtside wearing our Western wear. I can't wait to see Dev and Harrison. Should be a great time. And then we'll be back probably a little drunker than usual on the postgame show.
And the Rocky show's happening.
Well, by the time they see this, it will already have happened.
This is pre-recorded.
Yeah, so unfortunately, the Rocky show did happen. You can still watch it.
That's
you can still watch it. There's breaking news. All right, hit the like button on the way out, everybody.
Let's go to Ball Arena.
We all silly like the mayor.